This is a short tutorial on how to use AI0Win to develop IDF0 models. Once you download and successfully install the software and go to your Start menu and start the application, this is the window that you're going to get. In developing the model, the first thing that you need to do is to go to File, create a new repository. Once the repository is created, create a new model. Give a name to the model. For our model is going to be called Coffee Shop. Create it, select it. As soon as you create a model, it will open up a brand new diagram view for you. As you will see, the models can be viewed within a diagram or in a model browser tree view or in a matrix view, and we'll look at those as time permits. I'm gonna, for time being, close these tools because the same things are also repeated on the toolbar so that we can have more real estate to work with. Once the model is created, before you start dropping the activities on the model diagram view, you need to specify the purpose, viewpoint, and the context of the model. Go to Model Summary. Okay. Give it an abbreviation, first letters of your first name and last name. Goes the author, version number, review status. You don't have to mess with those if you don't want it to. In addition to purpose, viewpoint, and context, you can also add a detailed description of the model. You can add notes to the model. You can have sources where the information is coming from to the model. You can also attach attachments like PDF files, Word documents, Excel spreadsheets to this specific model. Okay, we're going to start with the purpose. What is the purpose of developing this model? The main purpose is to capture the day-to-day activities of the coffee shop. You can have multiple purposes. For instance, other purposes would include to find better ways to improve the daily activities within the coffee shop, to help new managers better and faster understand how everything works and fits together. Even for, let's say, ISO 9000 certification, you need to pictorially represent your processes. You can actually use this and specify that as a purpose to build the model. Okay. Viewpoint is from whom or from what role the model is captured. In this case, it's the coffee shop manager. Context draws a boundary around the system being captured. So you need to specify what is included and what is excluded from the model. You can say, such as, it covers the day-to-day activities and excludes personal actions such as hiring, firing, scheduling of shifts, etc. You will be more specific as to what goes in context in your own model. Okay. Let's click OK. Click OK. Now we have the purpose, viewpoint, and context specified. We can go right into developing the model. The first diagram that we're going to develop is called the context diagram, where there is a single activity that draws the boundaries around the model that is captured in this exercise. So if you go here, add activity, or you can do that from here. You can say add activity. Okay. Let's call the activity manage coffee shop. Okay. Create it. Edit the diagram. Once you specify the top level activity, you need to specify the inputs. Again, you can go through the elements to add inputs, controls, outputs, or mechanisms, or you can go through the graphical toolbar. For instance, here, add input. Let's add an input, and the input would be the demand, right? What else? Let's set another input and call it supplies. Let's call another input and say desire to make money. You can come up with more than that. For tutorial purposes, we're going to keep it simple. Now let's add some controls to this context diagram. One control would be the laws, rules, and regulations, as generic as that. Let's double click on it and make the first letter capital. Let's add another one. Let's say coffee shop policies. Okay, let's add some mechanisms to it. This is where the mechanisms are added to the activity. Point of sale system, an information system that supports the transactions at the coffee shop. Additionally, personnel. We can probably say manager is not being a part of the personnel, being another mechanism, enablers of the coffee shop management practices. The output side would include satisfied customers, and let's also say profit. As we all know, for-profit companies have to generate profit to stay alive. Okay, let's shuffle back and forth. As you can see, this is the top level diagram. This is the only activity underneath that. Okay, as we build more and more, we will see how it looks in that tree view or in the matrix view. These are the activities. There's only one, and these are the concepts that we used at that diagram, and these are the concept types that those concepts are connected to that activity. Let's go diagram view and create decomposition. This is how you created this composition. You select the activity of which the decomposition is going to be created. Click on the down arrow. Nothing is on the diagram yet. Let's drop the activity and use on it. Let's come up with some activities. Manage inventory, for instance. Okay. As soon as you drop it in, as you'll see, all the concepts are propagated at that level. Okay. Let's add more activities. Let's also say serve coffee. Another one would be managing the accounting, right? For active word, it's manage accounting. Now, how do you connect these to these appropriate boxes? For instance, demand is going to be connected to manage inventory as an input, let's say. The fastest way is to turn this into I, stands for input, select the concept, push down and hold the shift key, and click on the destination. Okay, it automatically connects it. As long as it's still selected, if I click on serve coffee, it will actually attach a branch of it into serve coffee. Does it also fit in manage accounting? Probably not. Supplies are going to be connected as an input to both manage inventory and to serve coffee. Okay, desire to make money is going to be attached to the manage accounting. Okay, what else is there? Now, once you serve coffee, you actually generate an output called supply usage. Okay, I want to show you that an output can actually feed as an input to another activity within that same diagram. I'm going to select this. I'm going to reduce the size of it a little bit, just a little bit, and add this as an input to manage inventory. It's input. I selected it, I click on this, and it redraws and feeds it in there. As you can see, it's as simple as that. Let's say control, and let's connect both of them to each and every one of them. Select one of the controls, make sure that it is C. If it's not, you need to delete and start over on the attachment process, and then push and hold shift key, click on the destinations, select it, push down shift and hold it, click on the destinations. Satisfied customers is an output to serving coffee, and profit is an output to managing accounting. Manager is a mechanism for managing accounting and managing inventory, but not so much of serving coffee. Point of sale system, the electronic information system, sports, managing inventory, not so much serving coffee, but managing accounting. Personnel takes part in serving the coffee and maybe managing the accounting. Okay? Now at this point, what you can do is you can select one or more of these activities and further decompose them, add more detail to them. Let's select serve coffee and go to the decomposition of it. What are the activities that we can include at this level? One example would be to take customer order. As you can see, as soon as you drop a single activity, all the related parent level concepts are propagated. Another activity would be prepare coffee. Another activity would be serve coffee. Interesting. Serve the coffee. The name should not collide to one another, and then of course collect money. Supplies goes into preparing the coffee. As you can see, it was a mechanism, and it took the supplies and attached that to prepare coffee as a mechanism. I'm going to go ahead and select it, push delete, say yes. It goes back to unattached concepts list. I'm going to go back to input, attach supplies here, demand goes here, and serve the coffee, because demand will determine what coffee to serve to each customer. And then you have the coffee shop policies, dictates how to take the customer order, prepare the coffee, serve the coffee, collect money. Laws and regulations might probably dictate again how to prepare the coffee, how to serve the coffee, and so forth. And satisfy customer will be an output coming out of serving the coffee. Revenue and cost, supply usage also is an output of this. The output of collect money would be, even though we have not specified, as you can see, as you go more and more detail in your model, you will add more concepts to it, which will require you to go back and add them at the parent level as well, so that there is no concepts missed at multiple levels of aggregation. This output is going to be called revenue and cost. Okay. Now let's go to personnel and connect personnel to as a mechanism to each and every one of these. Let's go back up here and see that point of sale should also be a part of the serving coffee, right? It's mechanism, and I'm going to connect that, and I'm going to, as you can see, tunneled, because it is money. Serve copy and take the customer order, both of which require, as you can see, some of these activities do not have output. Once you take the customer order becomes an output, right? Specific customer order. And then that becomes either an input, more likely a control to how to prepare the coffee. I'm going to turn to C, and that will also dictate as to how much money you're going to be collecting. It's really hard to differentiate between a control and an input. I'm going to say it's more like a control to preparing coffee. It's more like an input, let's say, to collecting the money. And I'm going to convert this to input and select that concept and click here as an input. Okay, what is the output of preparing the coffee? The coffee itself, right? We'll say coffee, and coffee is what will be served as an input. And then the output of serving the coffee will determine what the price will be, and price will be an input to how much to collect from the customer. If you go back and look, you will see that everything that you captured is also captured here. If you make changes, if you for instance drag an activity at one level and drop it on another level, it will automatically reflect itself back into the diagram views as well. You can actually go back and look at the activities, concepts, and what roles those concepts plays in those activities in the matrix view, and you can change those if you wanted to at this level, and you can go up and down also at the matrix view as you did at the diagram view. Now, once you are done with your model, what you're gonna do is to print the model so that you can embed some of the diagrams and even some of the text into your homework report. The best way to do it is to go to File and say Print, select Diagrams, select the model summary, okay, both of them, and say entire repository. All the models, all the diagrams are going to be exported either to a printer or to a Word file. Okay, once you select Word file, for some reason it actually deselects the diagrams, but you're going to go ahead and click on that. If you push Control, you can make multiple selections in a list without selecting everything in between. Anyway, once you do those selections and say OK, it's going to say, where do you want me to save it? I'm going to save it in this area. What it's going to do is that it is going to create a Word file. It's going to overwrite the previous one. It will also create a, as you can see right here, it will also create a folder called Images. So the pictures are going to be embedded into this folder, whereas as you can see the size of the Word file, it's very small. So the pictures are only referenced and not physically embedded into this document. So what it means is that if you end up using this document as a starting point to your homework report, your report might not embed the pictures, even though in your computer it looks like that. Let's open this and look at it, what is being exported. Okay, it is opening it. It takes a little time. And I'm going to pull it over to the captured screen and go down to show you what is being captured. As you can see, the purpose, viewpoint, context is captured and exported. All the diagrams are captured and exported. These diagrams are in vector format. What it means is that when you resize them, they don't lose resolution. They are always crisp. So try to use them as they are. The only thing here is that this is a reference to the actual picture which is in that image folder. When you create your own diagram, what you want to do is that create a Word file and say insert, for instance, picture in images. I select it and I go ahead and click on insert, and the picture is there. Okay, it is physically embedded now as opposed to being a reference. If it's not physically embedded, the file that you're going to be uploading to Desire to Learn is not going to have the pictures and it's not going to print. Let me go back to the diagram and show you a few more things before we close it up. In any case, if you don't understand anything on the window, or as far as the concepts are concerned, this is where you should go, help or F1. In addition to regular help, you have the tutorial and everything there. Take advantage of that. Do not mess with these. These will allow you to replace these boxes with bitmap images if you so choose to do so. But for this exercise, I don't want you to spend time in graphically embellishing your models as opposed to correctly capturing a business process model is what I am more interested in. Okay, another thing, and probably the most important thing that I forgot to tell you early in the tutorial, is that this particular tool do not have an undo button. If you do something wrong, you need to delete it and then add the correct one to your diagram or to your model. If you mess it up, the best case is to just scrap everything and start all over, because you're going to be knowing what not to do next time you do it, and you'll probably do it faster as opposed to trying to debug what is left over from the previous model that's preventing you from creating certain things. What you see in the diagrams are the pictorial images of the objects. The objects themselves are in the pool. Pool is where the classes are stored. Diagrams are where the instances of those classes are graphically represented. So if you delete one of those activities from here, that does not mean that it is deleted from the model, because it will still be in the list of the activities. To be able to delete something, either activity or a concept, you need to come here and physically expunge it. Okay, as opposed to delete it. Expunge means it deletes it completely from the model, from the repository, so that you don't violate your 50 object limit in a per model basis for your student version of the tool. Okay, that's all I have for the tutorial. Good luck with your model development.